What do you mean waiting for Raindance Bushcraft? I'm right here. And I'm all alone. That's okay. Getting stuff set up here. Live control room, is that what I'm looking for? I guess this is what I'm looking for. This does not look right to me. Let me just see what's going on. I think all is well. Yeah. I do think all is well, except that. Okay. 720, my health is good. Fine. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Matt Lasky, hi. How's it going, man? It's just a little, I have, for tonight I had planned, let me find it. Somewhere here I have that little pukko blade. Where the hell did I put it? Is it over here? I'm still here. Back with you in a second. There it is. Okay. So, it's raining a lot right now, so all the snow outside is melting, and I'm kind of sitting in a flood right now. Not like a huge flood, but there's a steady stream going between my legs across the basement floor, so. But it's okay. Salut Simon, comment va? So, what my plan was for tonight was to start getting this handle done. You guys remember, well, some of you might remember, I bought this, I had this pukko blade made for me by Saku, I think his name is, in Finland. So, that and the bolsters. And I'm going to do a birch bark handle for it, using this birch bark, and I figured I would invite you guys to hang out with me while I did. Creative Redundancy, how's it going? Jeff R Videos is back. Nice to see you. Mike Morton is there too. Oh, it's all friends tonight, man. It's all friends. So, I'm not going to do the entire handling. I'm just going to start cutting up the birch bark. Mike Morton, by the way, is the one who put me in touch with this dude. He was really good to work with. After the live stream, I'll put a link to his Instagram in the show notes. I ain't gonna get anything from that. It's not like an affiliate link or anything. It's just he does really cool work, and if you like pukkos, his prices are very reasonable. Mike, you have a really nice one. Is yours birch bark? I think it is, right? Did everyone bring a beer? I'm just sort of keeping up. Everyone's saying hi to each other. That's good. So to cut up this birch bark, I've never done this before, right? So what I've got here is the kitchen scissors. So it's just between you guys and me that I'm doing this with the kitchen scissors, okay? I'm also going to strop this baby up a little bit because it's been getting a lot of action lately, but I haven't been as good with the stropping as I really should be. Right, yeah, man, you guys should see Mike Morton's. If excuse me, if any of you guys are on Instagram, check out his Instagram page. I should have checked, Mike. You don't mind me calling you out like that, do you? Do you want to put your username just so that they can go and see your... Dude, his Instagram page is pretty nice to look at no matter what. Man, I can't wait to get some more interesting foresty stuff on my Instagram page, that's for sure. Creative redundancy, it's a carbon blade. Which, you know, it's funny because when I think that I got this blade for my daughter, maybe I should have gone for a stainless just because it's so much easier to get, you know, to keep in good order, but I like me some carbon. Yeah, Mike Morton's, he just put his username up. Go and check him out, guys. It's a really good feed. So, we got yep. That's just how good I am at the talking thing. It's a high carbon blade. The bolsters are bronze. You give me a choice of like bronze, brass, or something silvery. Bronze is my favorite of the Goldie metals. I like sort of the classical appeal of it. And I figured it would look really nice with birch bark, so that's what I asked for. And if you're even remotely handy, then getting a blade and handling it yourself is a great way to go to get a good bushcraft knife at a good price, you know. Hold on. Simone says that Northman posted a video recently about making a knife with a birch bark handle. I'll check that out. Man, I like those guys. I will admit that I miss that brand being called John Neiman, just because it was more sort of like, it was better branding than Northman, but I understand why, you know. Any of you guys out there a Northman or an Autin fan? Any of you guys have those really sweet expensive axes? Hey, also, Simone likes stainless better than high carbon steel for most tasks. You know what I don't like stainless for? Here's the thing. If I was back in British Columbia, like on the coast, or if I was out east, I think I would definitely go for stainless over carbon, just because of the moisture in the air. You know, the just constant, you know, the salt spray, the romantic thundering of the waves, the rust on high carbon steel. But I find it's really hard to light a ferro, you know, to scrape a ferro rod into any action off of the back of a stainless blade. But that might just be because I've never had one that's had a really like sharp 90-degree spine. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Are you guys with Simone or are you with me? I love me some. In fact, it's funny because I'm a bit of a classicist. I like carbon steel and I like specifically 01. I've got a few knives around here in other steels and stuff, but I really like 01. I got a feel for it now. I know how to sharpen it up good. I like how it doesn't get dull too quickly, you know. Let me just keep on track. Oh, and by the way, you guys will be happy to hear that when I logged into the creator area on Facebook to do this live stream, I had a note informing me that I am no longer monetizable. So I did not make the 4,000 hours. I'm at 2675. I mean, I knew I wasn't going to make it because that's a lot of people running my whole enchilada list overnight for a lot of days. So I wasn't surprised. I'm disappointed, but I'm just going to keep going. I'm at some point going to have 4,000 hours within the past 365 days, especially because I'm putting way more, I don't want to say pizzazz, but like, you know, I'm using music more. That new camera has really changed my picture quality. I'm really working my ass off on the color grading, and I'm getting better at it all the time. So I feel that the presentation is getting better. Now I just have to make sure that the content just keeps, you know, moving up. And I really do feel that they're improving 2018 has been good for me so far in terms of what I'm putting out. Wait, let me go back. Mike Morton, once you get a good patina on it, it's not so easy to rust carbon. That's true. If you like a patina, yeah. That's true. Patina really helps. I like to keep my blades fairly shiny. I kind of want to try that. Like, I want to get 2 identical Moras and patina the crap out of one blade and try to keep the other one nice and glossy and see over the course of a year what happens. You guys think that would make an interesting, like, not a 1 episode thing, but like come back like every few months and, you know, what do you guys think? I don't know. Let me see. Creative Running, had to oil your HC the other day. Yeah, that's the thing. Because I love me some carbon steel, I'm always oiling my... But look at my axes, right? All these grounds first, there's a couple of Wetterlings, even my old ones. I mean, I have to oil them anyway, so I don't mind. Actually, is this one carbon or is this one... Yeah, this is carbon. So I don't mind, like... It's like, you know when you're cooking and Mom can... Jeff stay for supper... It's no harder to cook for 4 than it is to cook for 3 kind of thing. So when I'm oiling my tools anyway, I just throw the knives in and do it all, you know? Jeff didn't make it either. Sorry, dude. Yeah. Creative redundancy. Yeah. Simone says that he doesn't use his knife to light fires with. He uses this scraper or something instead. So in that case, it doesn't really matter, and I get that. But anyway, did you guys bring beer? I asked you guys to bring your favorite beer, and we would all talk about it. I brought one. Oh crap! I'm showing you the French side. Chippy by Archibald Brewery. It's funny, it says it's a pale ale, but in French they specify that it's a red pale ale. It's a pale ale rousse. Brewed by Archibald Microbrasserie, 1530 Avenue des Affaires, Quebec. So it's in Quebec City. I feel like if I'm opening a can, I gotta do like a Joe Robinette, tap the top. Why do people do that? My buddy Robin, who you guys have seen on... Have you? No, those videos aren't out yet. My buddy Robin says that it somehow it lessens the chance that it's gonna boom on you, but I can't see how. Let me see. The forge finish on the pukko will help. Yep, that's true. JFR Video says something interesting. We have to support each other, and I really think that's true. For us small channels, we got to have each other's backs, you know. I've been like making sure that I watch the other little guys, and I'm commenting and I'm talking them up when I haven't even started drinking it. And I talk about them and stuff. And the guy who I mentioned to you guys, a boy in his Subaru, he just scraped by 1,000. So, and I played my part because I followed him from all 3 of my channels. Let me see. Oh, Creative Redundancy is drinking coffee. Well, once this beer is finished, I do have tea. So I'm not gonna get, I'm not gonna get 3 sheets to the wind when I'm, working with blades and cutting birch bark. Simon Forget, okay, he's foregoing the beer for the... Maybe I'll drop you a line and find out what's going on with you. New meds is never something you want to read. Mike Morton's gone the Collective Arts route. Raspberry Milkshake IPA with habanero. How's that? That sounds... if you poke a hole, does it make it easier to drink, though? I don't know, man. It's a flavor roller coaster. I'll definitely look it up. 39 Camper. How's it going, man? Where you been, brother? Where you been, man? So maybe I should start cutting up this bark while we're chatting, because otherwise I'll just sit here and yap and drink beer. Have any of you guys done this before? Like this part I kind of know what to do, but I'm thinking what, like an inch by an inch? Maybe an inch and a half by an inch and a half? Because like she's got pretty small hands, as you guys know, but I want her to be able to use the... Like I probably want it to be about this kind of width or something, right? Or like to match my knife. My woodlark clone. Yeah, like I don't know, maybe that's... Hold on, let me get a measuring thing. Yeah, look, an inch is definitely going to be too small. I'm going to go an inch and a half. I'm using inches because, you know, the interweb. Most of my audience is from the States. So if I start saying, well, I'm going to go for like maybe 3 centimeters, doesn't tend to go over all that well. So I'm just going to cut a fuke ton of squares out, inch and a half by inch and a half. And then at some point I'll start gluing them into like small packets and then drill holes. That's like, I've seen a couple of different guys do it that way. They, you know, stick whatever, 10 of them together, glue, clamp, then when it's dry, drill the holes, and then put the whole handle together. Sorry, dude, I've been... bilingualism is tough. Let me see. Sweet raspberries, some hops, and heat down the finish. But one at a time is enough. Mike, I'm pretty sure... Yeah, you know, I do have a lot of this stuff, so maybe, what do you think, like 2 inches? Just that seems big. But, I mean, I've got a ton of this crap, right? I've got these pieces, and then, you know, so I've got a big bag of it. I've been planning this knife build for many moons. But like those of you who've been watching me for a long time, I mean, that fire kit that I gave her when she turned 5, I bought for her when she was 2. So you know, a lot of my projects are long-term. You know, they gestate. You know what I'm saying? My first 2 squares. And I really eyeballed the 2 inches, but I'm actually, geez, I should learn inches more. That didn't make any grammatical sense, but I'm pretty damn good. I'm not that exact in metric, that's for damn sure. Yeah, Simone, definitely 1 inch is definitely too small, even for her little hands. 39. He has his dogs tear his shit up. Yeah, okay, that's fair. I used to have a husky named Ash, and man, she just never stopped chewing. She chewed right through. I had a door on the living room. She chewed right on through the bottom of that door, just like... I do miss having a dog, though. You know what makes me wish I had a dog again is watching Joe Robinette with Scooter. Man, Scout makes me miss having a dog. Because I've had a lot of cats, okay? And I have nice things to say about cats all day long. But man, there's something about having a dog. There really is. I miss that. I you know, not all my dogs have been like huskies either. I had a corgi at one point, a Pembroke. Was it a cardigan? I don't know. One of the corgi brands. Breeds, not brands. Named Jazz, and she was cute as hell, man. It was a great little dog. Hey, how much of this should I be scraping off the inside of this stuff? Winters Ranger made it. Hey, man. Yeah, Simo, I'm doing them at 2. I'm going to save this stuff. I'm hoping that Austin's Corner comes around, because he left me a note, a comment on the video I just put up yesterday. Sorry that my video this week was a day late, guys. I was working on it. I was just sitting there and I was trying to edit, but I've been feeling under the weather lately, and so I was sitting there just, so I was just, you know what, to hell with this. I gotta go to bed. And it was disappointing for me on a personal level, because I've been trying to really keep the regularity of my posting schedule up. I've been trying to do it every Sunday night, And so letting it slip to Monday felt like I was letting myself down, because you guys probably don't even notice that it's been every Sunday night for, the small part of 2018 so far. But that's what I've been sort of aiming for. It always feels like a personal defeat when I miss my self-imposed deadline. I mean, that's legit, right? No one's forcing me to do it every Sunday night, but that's what I want to hit, A lot of the YouTubers I like best have they're damned regular. They have a video up every Friday night, or every Tuesday night, or every blah blah blah. So is it just me and Mike who are hitting the brewski tonight? Is that what's going on here? Getting into a Canadian cliche. We're having the beers. Having the beers. It's funny because that video I did with Cody was partly inspired by Joe Robinette's video he once did with his daughter. He took his squirt out to the woods. And here's the thing, what I've been doing lately, is that the kind of live stream this is going to be? Sorry, dudes. What's been happening lately is Camille has a ballet class on Sundays. That's a stupid lie. Saturdays. So as soon as her mom and she leave for ballet, I jump in my scrappy car and rocket out to the closest bit of, to that little piece of forest that I've been shooting in, where I'm not really allowed, well, where I'm not allowed to have a fire at all. And I shoot. And then we all meet up at home, just like nothing happened. And, you know, then Sunday night, I edit the whole thing together. But what that means is, when Camille found out that I was shooting videos without her, she was in high dudgeon about it. And then when we saw the Joe Robinette video, it reminded her again that she is supposed to be irate with me over the filming without her. And I've been trying to have that conversation about kids and bush skills and stuff. But I mean, Simone remembers the live stream I tried to do with her where I stupidly fed her that slushy first. What a disaster. So this time I just made her hot chocolate. Because it's cold in here, man. We don't have any heat in here. And she's sitting there. She had just been doing some, I don't know, Pilates or some damn thing. And she just sort of happily came in her little tank and shorts. And I was like, let's get you a blanket. At least, you know? Wow, Winders Ranger's been up since 3 a.m.? What are you still doing up? I wouldn't be able to handle it, man. It's funny because I think about this a lot when I'm gigging, right? This is where I am so far. I think about this a lot when I'm gigging. I've been in the same band, playing the same circuit for 14 years now. And when we started, we were all younger, because that was a truism. But I mean, the fact is, you know, we were all younger than we are. I had been playing since I was in my 20s, you know. I was sort of in my early 30s. And just making sure. What are you guys talking about? She was so high, flying like a kite. What's going on here? No, she wasn't so high. She was in high dudgeon. She was pissed off. But anyways, I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh yeah, but you know, like when I was a young dude, you know, I'd stand there playing bass until 3 in the morning, get home at 4, probably play a round of whatever was my favorite video game at the time, hit the dirt, hit the hay. I'm not doing so great here tonight, guys. You know, hit the hay, be up at like 8 or 9, and just go on with my day like nothing happened, you know? Just can't do it anymore. If I go to bed at 3, I hate myself the next morning. So, all that to say, Mr. Winters, that if you've been up since 3 my time and you're still up, all the power to you. I am deeply grateful that you're hanging out with us right now. But if you do decide that you just got to go to bed, I ain't going to judge you for it. One interesting thing about that video that Cody and I did is that the missus told me she loved it. She doesn't really love very many of my videos. It's like every now and again, I guess I sometimes wonder if my videoing drives her crazy. But every now and again, she sort of does something that reminds me that that it doesn't. One thing, actually, it's interesting because I had wanted to talk to you guys about this. Tragically, the missus and I, the anniversary of when we first got together is the 14th of February. Now, that's what happens when you're an idiot like me who doesn't give a damn about fake holidays. You inadvertently do silly things like that. But, that being said, I'm looking for something that I don't think I brought in here. Tabernouche. Okay, never mind. But, so, for Valentine's Day, Camille was fundamentally excited about Valentine's Day. She had orchestrated buying us each a gift with her own money by orchestrating with each of us a trip to the dollar store. And then at one point at the dollar store, when we got to the cash, she would say, okay, close your eyes and don't look until I finish paying for something. So we did that. And so she bought us each a gift. And her mom and I bought each other things as well as buying her things. And the missus is very, very hard to buy for. She doesn't have a lot of hobbies. And I love birch bark. And I'm very easy to buy for. The missus just says that I'm an expensive bitch. And I do have to admit that, yeah, that might be true. Anyways. Usually, gifts from the missus are very practical. You know, like, I'm running low on t-shirts, so she gets me a bunch of t-shirts or whatever. But this time, Camille bought me this headlamp, which I was going to bring in batteries and pop in and see if it actually works. But then I forgot to bring them in. Dollar store headlamp. If it doesn't work, Camille will never know. But I'm not expecting much. But I just, man, it's so damn cute that she orchestrated this. She saw this at the dollar store and she made sure. I got all weepy when I opened it, you know, because I'm masculine that way. But the missus got me a warm weather sleeping bag. This is the Marmot, the Mavericks 40, so it's good to 40 degrees old style, or I think that's 4 degrees in modern. I popped it open just to, you know, see how easy it was to get out and put back into a stuff sack. I've never had a good sleeping bag before, so I'm very excited about getting this one into action. Yeah, probably in spring, maybe summer. I could sleep in it today, man. All that ice and snow we had, it's gone. It's like 3 degrees out there, which is 1 degree Celsius below what that one's rated for. But anyway, that's really cool. That's really cool, and that's sort of, I don't know, that was really cool. Just making sure. Sugar. Related to that epic live stream, your daughter was on a high sugar dose due to her dad. Yes, she sure was, man. That was totally my fault. I don't know why the hell I bought her. She'd never had a slushie before, but she'd seen them. And so she's like, Daddy, I want to try that. What a dumbass I was. Anyway, so those gifts are pretty cool. I'm looking forward to getting that sleeping bag into action. It's weird because it's not like it's not a full-on rectangle, but it's not a mummy either. It's sort of in between. It's slightly contoured. So most of my sleeping bag experience has been with like the Canadian Tire specials. Most of you guys are American. I don't know. Are most of you guys American? Doesn't matter. Several of you guys are American. So Canadian Tire is it's not an analog to Target, but that might be the closest thing you guys have to Canadian Tire. I'm trying to think of something else. Even Walmart isn't really. Simone says don't store it in the stuff sack. Right, because that'll compress the insulation, right? Yeah, I'll pull it out. I just wanted to show you guys, you know, in its presentation. I don't know. Those of you guys, you know, what's Canadian Tire closest to down in the States? Creative Redundancy is Canadian. Lots of snow and ice there. Where are you, man? Province. You don't have to be too. Yeah, Mech is definitely REI is American Mech, but Canadian Tire it seems to be hard. I always have a harder time explaining Canadian Tire. But anyways, you know, they sell sleeping bags and they sell tents and stuff, but it's budget. It's not really budget, but like, you know, they go heavy into the Coleman. Do you know what I'm saying? That's not gonna work. My camping stuff for most of my life has been that level, you know, Coleman or Coglins. When I started buying more expensive stuff, like going to Mech, it was pretty late in my life, you know. Simone says Canadian Tire is like our version of a general store chain, but without the food. Obviously, you've never bought the jerky at Canadian Tire. Creative is out west. Okay. I got a buddy in Saskatchewan who is really tired of frigid temperatures. I haven't checked in with him in a couple of days. I don't know what it's like out there, but you know. Yeah. Canadian Tire is generally a more budget-minded store than Mech or Cabela's would be. I don't know if this is. I'll keep that one as a last ditch. Yeah, like some of this birch bark seems a little. Maybe I should just scrape it. Maybe I should scrap it. Okay, I'll move this, I'll move this, I'll move this. And I will scrape the inside of this birch bark. Anyways, I thought it was really cool that, you know, she doesn't do the outdoorsy thing in the same way. Like, we're going camping this summer, but like, she's not like an avid hiker or a bushcrafter or anything. So, you know, the fact that she went to, you know, out to find a nice sleeping bag, you know, I don't know, just whatever. It was cool. It was cool because it was the first time she bought me something really, really outdoorsy. You know, I keep saying how I'm gonna build us a log cabin with an outhouse at the back, and she's like, yo, I need some plumbing and I need electricity. So I just keep bringing up the outhouse just because I'm an ass. Rural King? Oh. Jonathan Millie. The birch bark is going to be a handle for this pukko. For this pukko that I had made for my daughter. For, I guess, her 7th birthday. Which is in August, which means I've got plenty of time to completely mess this up and start all over again. Realistic about my my skills here. But anyways, yeah, so did any of you guys do anything spectacular for the day of Valentine's? By the way, that's not a holiday I respect. I gotta tell you, you know, if it wasn't my anniversary and if that didn't embarrass me so hard, I wouldn't celebrate it at all. I don't like false holidays like that. I don't even like New Year's. I don't think New Year's is a legit holiday at all, you know? But anyway, I'm not here to preach. I ain't here to preach. Simone has seen me start many a project. This upcoming summer I have to finish building a fence around my backyard. We ran out of time just for various reasons. You know, you plan a bunch of stuff and then life gets in the way because you forgot to plan for the fact that between the months of like May and August, everyone in your family has a freaking birthday on a Saturday, you know? Stuff like that. It's like, this part I'm just tossing. It's not gonna work. So like I've got all these projects I start and then it's like it becomes almost funny, you know? It's like, so I don't know, gonna build that gate? No. Not this weekend. Oh, shit. Does this look good enough to use? I don't know. It's really thin. I don't know. What do you guys think? Jeff, our videos is a hockey fan, I see. Let's see what else I got here. Like some of this, I pulled off of trees, and some of it was already kind of getting skanky. Hey, I'll tell you guys something for free. I was getting set up to do this live stream, and Scrambled O started a live stream, and I was like, no, there goes my audience. But fortunately, he ended his about 5 minutes before I was supposed to go on. Let's see what I got here. Simone's got some free time because his wife changed her work schedule. God bless her for that, eh? There we go. I feel that you need thicker birch bark for this, but like this is really thin. This stuff here has got some girth to it, but this is thin as hell, man. I don't know. It's frustrating because I've never done this before, and some things. Oh, that's thicker. Okay, I'll save that for fire lighting. Just let me organize because I don't want to accidentally toss my handle material here into the fire pit, like I would have the right to a fire pit anyway in this neighborhood. Jeff's wife was the same way. Needed hydro and water when they got their cabin. Hey, you know what? I'm fine with it. You know, if the cabin comes with like a few hectares of forest, I can set up a shelter, right? I'd love to do a series on building a semi-permanent shelter, like Scrambled did, or like I don't know. Did Joe do a series on building a shelter? I don't remember, but he's got a cool shelter happening there. I mean, I saw him do part of a series when like an episode on finishing it off when Mike was out with him. Mike, are you still here? Just take a look. But I mean, that's not a full-on series, I don't think. But I would love to have the freedom to do that kind of thing, you know, have a little chunk of land, or at least have the rights to a little chunk of land that I could go to and build a semi-permanent shelter. That would be, man, that would be rocket delicious, man. That would be hot. This is not going to work. This is not going to work. You guys see Scrambled O asked for suggestions about shelter styles. I sent him a link to that book, Shelters, Shacks, and Shanties. You guys have that book? Andrew Constantine. I am really not talking well tonight, guys. Andrew Constantine, how's it going, mister? Yeah, Mike, so has Joe done a bunch of videos on building that shelter, or was that like a one-off because he was expanding because you were there? And that roof, yeah, because I remember you guys also built that roof like halfway over the fire pit. I find it interesting that how many shelters that people are building sort of grow to follow the same general pattern. I mean, obviously, look, if it works, why change it, right? Oh, that was painful. I just tried not to belch on camera, so it boom right out my nose. Woo! That was painful, man. Simone's got that book too. How many of you guys have that book? Shelters, Shacks, and Shanties by what else is his name? What's weird about, give me 1 second. I'm gonna see if I can just grab it. I'm gonna see if I have it somewhere where I can just grab it. DC Baird. DC Baird. What? Did I just drop out? No, I'm good. That was weird. Huh, okay. This one? By DC Baird? Let me get back to the chat. It was weird. I just dropped my signal, so... The original build in fall 2016. He came back in 17, but had to leave. Then we went in December. Like, I wonder if... Oh, stop it. Stop it. I'm wondering if that... Like, there was a shelter sort of in that, you know, it's a classic, right? The sloped back, but I liked how Scrambled O varied it up. Yeah, right, like there's a million variants on that sloped back. But I wonder, like, how many of these are of these shelters we see everywhere are because everyone's got this book, or how many of them are just trying to build a shelter. That would make sense. You know, I don't know. I just don't know. That's not going to work, but this will. I'm going to do it here because I don't quite have 2 inches times 2, and I don't want to cut it down to 1 inch, so I'm just going to waste some. Beer. Oh, you know what? There's something I want to bitch about. Those of you who know me well will recognize what is about to happen. Here in Canada, we have a postal service. Okay, so you guys remember the fire steel and flint kit I got from Convoy SG? I did a video about months ago now. They're trying to send me something. I think it's just like an updated version of their fire kit or something. So they sent one off, and I went walkabout. So they sent another one, and it also went walkabout. And it's like getting anything that doesn't have a tracking number on it is a crapshoot. Like, Canada Post is just so bloody incompetent. And the thing is, very often when you're getting something from outside the country, it's not that it's disappeared, it's that it's been sitting at a customs house for weeks. And it's just you don't have you have no recourse. You can't call up and say, get my stuff on a truck. You can't do it. You have no power, you know? And it drives me crazy because you don't know where this stuff is gone. It's just disappeared into the maw. You know, it's gone from the universe. And Canada Post is a crown corporation, which means that as a taxpayer, I own part of that company. You know, and it's just I'm so tired of services not being services. Because the postal service is it's an integral part of any country's information landscape. Okay, you know, we think that nobody mails anymore, but man, there's a lot of stuff that goes through the mail, and you know. I don't even know what to say about it. I'm so frustrated, you know. Because if I try to flatten this out, is it just going to split? No. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, you know, this guy's... What I'm afraid of is that someday someone's not going to believe that it's Canada Post. That I just, you know, no, I didn't get it. He. You know, because that's not my steez, as nobody says anymore. But whenever someone's saying like, dude, did it come? I feel like almost, you know, sheepish of saying no, not really. You know. So, anyways, I don't send anything across an international boundary without a tracking number, because I have learned. Oh, the worst was once I was on. I used to hang out at talkbass.com a lot, and I bought an amp, a bass amp, not the speaker cab, just the amp. Hilariously, it was a trainer, which meant it was Canadian. But anyway, it was a great price. It was like $1,000 head that I was getting for like $450 US or some damn thing, because it was old. Guy didn't send it with a tracking number, so I went walkabout, and I never got the amp head. He was in the States somewhere, like Chicago or Detroit, or you know, one of those, like the mid-range sized American cities. And I was a student, man. I wasn't making a lot of money at that point. But I don't know where that amp went. I mean, it's a bass amp, so it's not like that can't be easy to sell. If it fell off the back of a truck, which for USPS would not be unheard of, it's not like a guitar amp that you can sell to any kid on the street corner. You know, there aren't a lot of bass players out there. Let's be honest. You know? There are a lot of people with basses, but there aren't a lot of bass players out there. So it's like, where did that amp end up? You know? I don't know. And I'm just so tired of the system not working. You know, I'm so tired of systems just falling down. And very often, it's funny because I'm very often the one in a million for whom a sure thing doesn't work. Recently, we switched from a major Quebec cable internet phone blah 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 unified service provider to a smaller outfit. And everyone I know who's switched to this smaller outfit has been over the moon about the experience. And so I was very intrigued, made the switch. The big Quebec company tried to get us back. Turned out that the deal they were offering us was only good for 2 years, after which point all bets were off. So we said, thank you very much, get off my phone. And made the switch. And man, just, drop signals. Just, man, problems and problems and problems and problems. Turns out it wasn't the new internet service provider. It was my brilliant new TP-Link router that the PS3 just doesn't get along with, which is frustrating because that was $90 or something. But hey, at least it wasn't, anything that I couldn't fix by just unplugging the new router and plugging in my old Airport Express. I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, I unplugged the fancy new router, went back to my old Airport Express. Now what that meant was I lose the 5G. 5G is faster. It has slightly lower, smaller range, but it's a little faster. And so now, so I went from a 30 megabit per second service to 120, and I feel that I'm bottlenecking, so I'm not enjoying the full experience. Simo's going to say something about this because he knows this crap better than I do. Rush Creek Survival, yeah, that's the thing. There's someone looking for a bass amp somewhere. I know it. But man, that was such a piss off. But anyways, so like, I used to be a guy who liked to have unique stuff. So like, I was like, I'm not playing a Fender bass because everyone uses a Fender. I'm going to use blah. And I have a very unique bass, but I also have a Fender because for the same reason that for my videos, I've gone with Canon cameras. Look, half the world makes a better camera than Canon right now in terms of, 4K footage at, $500 US, right? Whereas with Canon, you're not even getting 4K at $3 or $4 grand. But the reason I'm with Canon now, I'd been Nikon for 20 years before I switched to make videos with, is because my entire approach now is to buy whatever many people have, so that if I have a problem, someone out there has fixed it without having to pay a massive service charge, service charge. You know what I'm talking about, though, right? I know, Simon. He's wait. Creative redundancy is gonna go make supper. Okay, see you later, man. Simon, Pure later played soccer with a large telecom UPS. Ouch. Did you guys get your money back for that? Yeah, I know, Simon. I should have called you, but I just... you live across the river. It's a major trip. Oh, that's not going to work. And I work on this crap kind of late at night, when I don't know. Anyways, I've still got the router. I don't know. If you want to help me figure out what the hell the problem is, then I welcome your input, because what's frustrating is the thing that's dropping the signal is the PS3. Now, PS3s have an issue with dropping the DNS connection or whatever. Developing a DNS problem just because it feels like it. I have a friend who has the exact same setup as me and has not had any problems. So I'm highly irate. But I didn't get rid of the router because I figured that at one point I was going to go back to it and get this crap working. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't like 2.4 gigahertz, but I mean, it's just what I've got in my entire house right now because that damned router. That damned router. Damn that router. Simone says we don't live that far. We just have to get through Turco. Here's the thing. For those of you who don't live here, this city is a disaster right now. They're in the middle of knocking down and replacing a major east-west thoroughfare, like highway. And the knock-on effect it's having on the rest of this, well, on my borough particularly, is just atrocious. So, like, we only live 6 kilometers apart. Yeah, but that's a 40-minute drive. Interestingly, getting home from Simon's place is a hell of a lot faster than getting to his place, which I found compelling. Both times I went over to your place, Simon. I found it very interesting that it took me 0 time to get home. Because getting to your place definitely didn't take 0 time. I don't know how much of this stuff I need. I've got like a fairly large pile, but oops. Oh no, I mixed it in with the junk. Okay, there. In front of you guys. It's okay. All is well. All is well. We're all friends here. You know, it's funny because all my favorite trees are conifers, except for birch. I have these associations with, hold on, different generations of PS3 exist with different problems. Simo, I should probably just replace it with a PS4, first of all, for various reasons. Second, you know, I don't even really know. I just want it to work. You know, I don't have the technical expertise required. It's funny because my first major job, my first real job, what does that even mean? My first real job was working for a network security company. But when I burnt the hell out of that job. And when I left that job, I decided to become a pedestrian user. Like on purpose. I was like, you know what? I'm done with knowing everything. I just want my computer to run games, Photoshop, blah. You know? But what that means is that now, when I have network problems, the kind of stuff that didn't used to scare me off at all, I'm like, I just don't know how to deal with them anymore. You know? Like sometimes really simple stuff, I just don't know how to deal with. And it's embarrassing because I used to know this stuff, because I used to document it. And I'm now at a job where I'm documenting stuff like that again, although, you know, in a different sense. I'm working in access control now, so it's not quite the same, but still, you know? It's just frustrating, man. Oh yeah, what I was going to say is, yeah, all my favorite trees are conifers. I love the smell of a pine forest, or, you know, I love the balsam smell. I went to BC, the first time I went to where my dad now lives, in the interior, and saw the ponderosa pine, I was smitten with those trees. I tell you that for free. But I also really like birches. I like, you know, you see a dark green forest, twilight or something, and then you just see 3 or 4 of these ghosts, you know, in the darkening light. So compelling. Such a nice tree. Such a nice, look at this. Right? It's nice inside and out. The fact that the bark is this papery white instead of, you know, the deep fissures of some other kinds of trees. It's just such a nice look. Such a useful tree. Such a pleasure to carve. You can tap it, by the way. I don't mean that like the ingenue on the dance floor. I mean you can actually get sap out of it. That wasn't the most polite thing I've ever said, but we'll just go with it. Ingenue on the dance floor. Where do I get these things? But anyway. Hey, I just realized I haven't been checking. You know, it's funny. This thing isn't telling me how many people are watching. When I set up an event like this, like a scheduled event, it's totally different than when I just do it random. Like when I'm like, Anthony Henry, thank you for noticing that they're kitchen scissors, because when my wife notices, I'm dead. I am making a birch bark handle for my daughter's bushcraft knife, which she does not know exists yet. So I'm cutting up birch bark squares because I'm going to handle it. And I'm very excited to get this done. because I think it's going to be spectacular, because even though I've never done this before, I'm going to make it bloody beautiful. Okay? Okay. And while I'm cutting the squares, I'm saving the paper shavings because it's beautiful to light with a ferro rod, and I'm saving the squares because it's great for once the initial spark has been lit. I do love me some birch. Really do. I'm going to try to get this as straight as possible. When I started this live stream, I was essentially asking, how wide should I make this handle? We've decided we kind of think 2 inches, 5 centimeters. And so I'm making a massive pile of birch bark squares, and then I will glue them all up. Oh, that's a nice piece. And then at some point this year, before August, I will make magic. Yeah, that's a nice piece. There we go. Okay, let me get back to Anthony Henry. Yes. Plain Preacher, birch beer. Yeah, you know what? There's a couple of companies here that make birch beer too. I love that stuff, man. I like spruce beer. I like birch beer. I even like root beer. But I don't remember the name of the company that makes. There's a company that I don't know if they still do, but they used to use like those pop top bottles, you know, with the metal thing and the cork that pops off and you can put back on. Oh, I once got the contents of one of those bottles all over myself and my mother-in-law and her kitchen ceiling. Those bottles, man, when they go, they can really go. I don't know why that woman still likes me after that one, man. Holy cow. Boof. And we're both just standing there, and it's still like pouring over the top and looking at each other. It was like awkward, and then more awkward, and then I just sort of started to laugh, and she did as well. Thank the freaking gods. I don't know why that kind of stuff happens to me, man. That's not going to be 2 inches. All right, I'll just... There we go. But yeah, I'm with you. I like birch beer. Birchwood coals are excellent for grilling a steak. That is also true. That is, man, that's what I'm saying, you know, like the birch is like the miracle tree. You can do everything with it. My sister's allergic to birch, which makes me feel sorry for her. But I just love it. Everything about it. I love the way the color it turns in fall. The tree that was outside my house, out front of my house, was a Norway maple. This entire neighborhood is Norway maples. Norway maples. And I hate Norway maples. It's a weed. They were planted specifically because they grow fast. They got a shallow root ball. But man, the helicopters that they leave all over the neighborhood, everything, but they're not even pretty. You know what I'm saying? They're not. It's not even an attractive tree. I'd like to have a big ass oak out the front of my house, or I don't know. I definitely don't want a weeping willow, but something else, you know. Good news is that tree was so damn sick that the city finally came and took it out. After years of me trying to get them to come, I finally said this tree is sick. The only part of it that's left is directly over my house. If you don't come to take it out, then I need to know your reasoning in writing so I can give that to my insurance company. It's a hack. As soon as I said that, they came and took the freaking tree away. So, just so you guys know, you can indeed get some satisfaction if you're willing to get quasi-official. Any of you guys know how much of this stuff I have to cut up for like a, I mean, it's not going to be that long a handle, right? It's going to be about that long. I'm probably all right, but I'm just going to finish this square off, I think. Oh, Simon with the questions that make me think. I was just going to use some wood glue, but I just keep hearing that I should be using epoxy. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to plug this into my phone so that I don't lose you guys. First I got to find a block. Here's a block. I'm still here, boys. Folks. Folkies. Folkays. I have chosen to believe that is working. This iPhone's a little jinky. The plug doesn't always work. But when I'm using this this app, it doesn't show me the battery or anything, so I'm just gonna hope for the best. Okay? If we all hope for the best, then the magic of our collective hoping will make it just come true. Know what I'm saying? So here we go. You had a black screen there for a second. Sorry, dude. Jeff, 4:30 a.m. comes soon. Whoa, okay. Have a good night, Jeff. Do we still have a black screen? Okay. Okay, we good? Anthony's got a curly bark maple. Okay. Yeah, same deal, eh? Yeah, yeah, and it's twice a year too. Drives me crazy. What I did was 1 year I counted, because the problem is if you don't get rid of the damn helicopters, you end up with all these little treelings. And 1 year I kept counting. In one afternoon I pulled up 312 tiny trees. It's just like, really? Am I gonna have to spend the next 50 years doing this? No, because the tree is sick and I will get it taken out, and they finally did. The Chippy, she is done. Archibald's cans don't exactly come across as the most modern of cans. But it's a pretty nice design. They're all like different pin-up girls, you know. Winter's Ranger, how the hell do you retract a message? How does that work? I've seen that a couple of times. I'm like, as I've been doing this, and I'm like, how the hell does one retract a message? Winters, you're in the States, right? Up here, public education is not nearly the disaster it is down there. I'm publicly educated. My daughter is as well. The wife was privately educated, but has no faith in the system, so she had no problem with us going for a public school for Camille. But it's not like the third world level public schools in the Bronx or anything like that. It's a very different system up here. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. I have a massive pile of birch bark, so I'm going to get on to dealing with this this Mora that has seen better days. The eagle-eyed among you will recognize this as a Lee Valley strop. I would have done this strop differently. And maybe I'm wrong about this, but oh, look at that. The edge is rolled. Can you see that? Right there? Right. There. I wonder what happened there. But I do know that that is not a stropping issue. That requires an actual sharpening. Let me see what I got. My field sharpening kit, because there's no way I have the patience to dig out my entire sharpening thing. Do any of you guys use these? These Dia Sharp, did that completely upside down. Dia Sharp, I guess it is, because they're diamond plates. Any of you guys use these? I use them sort of as a last ditch thing. They're too small. I would like some nice big ones. I think I would really like them if I had some nice big ones, but this size is good for just like a field sharpening kit. Yeah, you saw the rolled edge, eh? Yeah, that's wow. And I usually like put a spray on these things to sort of get, you know, slough off the grindings, but I mean, I'm already in the middle of a live stream and I've already stepped away from the camera, what, twice? You know. Yeah, you know what, Anthony, I know, I remember what this was now. It wasn't a rod. I was batoning, judge not. I was batoning some wood. Cody and I made a fire a couple of days ago. I was batoning some wood and tuck, right, and it went through the little piece of kindling just as the piece of kindling skipped off of a little piece of wood that it was on. And of course I was doing this on the anvil of my my bench vise. So bong, ha ha ha, I said, but you can't really say those words around a daughter. So I said, oh rats, or something of that sort. Oh yeah, man, it's really and these are so expensive. Sometimes I think I'm my own best audience. Yeah, that's better, but now I feel like I should do windows. Yeah, I have whetstones as well. I definitely do. Like my main sharpening kit is whetstones. Although I really like sandpaper. I really do. I'm not doing this properly at all. It's because I'm trying to talk to you guys and keep an eye on the messages and do the sharpening. I'm like, I'm really buggering this. I'm not buggering it, but like I'm not getting the, you guys know, right? The rhythm you get down. I don't usually baton, but like Camille and I were out. We were already sort of, you know, getting the fire going. And since I've moved all my axes inside for the winter, now you guys who watch a lot of Wrangler Star will know he says, you know, don't move your tools inside for the winter because, you know, it's drier inside than it is outside. And the very first thing I thought when I saw him say that was, dude, we don't all live on the West Coast. If you know, it gets just as dry outside in Quebec in the winter as it would inside, let me tell you. So yeah, I brought my axes in. So we were outside and all my axes were inside, and you know. What Simo just said is important. He just told Winders to not bother getting the tiny stones, and I agree, man. If you can stump for the big stones, the big diamond plates, that's the way to go. Because this is okay as a little field sharpener, but you can't do anything on something this small. You know, you can't do a plain iron. You can't, and you know, I can't even get the proper motions because it's so small. You know, this is an emergencies only. I mean, it could be worse. The sharpening stone I had on my Bear Grylls Ultimate knife was a slow burning dumpster fire. LT is here. Salut, monsieur. Comment va? Anthony Henry. This isn't the $15. Wow, the thing is, $15 gets you a whole different knife in Canada as it does in the States. But no, it's not the one that I was doing the video on. The Canadian belt knife. No. That one, in fact, that one actually belongs to Simon. So I may get one just to have as a backup. I'm pleased that I'm enjoying that shape as much as I am, because that's what I was hoping. Like, as the very first time I saw the Canadian belt knife, it just looked so 1954 to me that I just like, I gotta try that. You know, my house was made in 1951. I don't know why I just said that. That has nothing to do with it. But I mean, like, as I've gotten into the forest in a whole different way, I have really developed an appreciation for early or mid 20th century tools, like ending around, say, late the 60s maybe, you know. But there's just something like the whole 50s aesthetic I like, you know, and that knife just has a 1955 feel to me, or a 1954 feel, or even earlier. It's like, I have this theory that certain knife shapes could only have come from certain countries. I'm simplifying this massively because it's really too boring to go into, but like a Nesmith design is a fundamentally American looking knife to me. You know, a Kephart, you know, that could have come from either Canada or the States. It's sort of a general North American look to me. But the Canadian belt knife, it just says, you know, Canadian Bush Pilot, Northwest Territories, 1949 kind of thing to me, you know? And because it looks so goofy, like, it's so ugly, you kind of have to love it, you know? I had to try it, and I was really hoping that I would like that shape, and I do. I definitely do. Do I like it better than the Woodlore clone? Well, do I like it better than the Woodlore knife style that I love so well? No. I definitely don't like it better than a Woodlore style, but you know, I could definitely make space for it in my toolkit anyway, you know. Hold on. Jake, Canadian Cutting Edge, has one and he likes it. Wait. Let me go back. Winter Stranger, I am dying for that Russian sharpening jig that Wrangler Star has. The one that they call the Wrangler Star model is probably the one I would want, just because it's got all the stuff I would use, and it doesn't have a bunch of extra crap that I wouldn't. But man, you know, it's funny because when he did his first video on that jig, it was a $280 jig. And it's a whole lot more than that now. Like, The Wrangler Star effect is in full force on that one. I don't think I'm ever going to be getting that. But yeah, I love that. You know, here's the thing. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Good thing we're doing this in my basement. How many of you guys know this? This is a Gatco, but there's a more sort of famous brand of the exact same thing. And if I could get the damn box open, I would show you what I'm talking about. Right? You guys know this? You know, you put your knife in there. You've got all these stones. This is a good system, except that I need one with a stand because I'm trying to hold it and I need something with a stand. And what I like about that Russian one, well, is everything, but it's like a really huge version of this with a stand. Because like I don't only sharpen bush knives, I also sharpen our kitchen knives, you know, and I find that, man, that sharpening system just gets me where I live. Oh, that was wrong. Oh no, I'm okay. A buddy of mine from West Virginia carries one on a small flat river rock. You know, it's funny that you say that, Winters, because if you look in a lot of old school survival books, they say just pick a rock up off the river bottom. You know, because that's the thing. A lot of rocks will work as sharpening stones. It's just that's not going to be the same kind of sharpening job as something like this, right? That's going to be like a survivalist, a survival ready sharpening job, right? Sharp knife gets the job done, but you're not going to get the same sort of treatment of your bevels as you will on something a lot more, you know, machined or engineered, or however you want to say it. Yeah, I'm bringing this back pretty well, actually. After we're done, I'm going to rinse these all off to get the filings out. Hold on, let me just go back. I feel that I've missed a few. Anthony Henry, you talking about the Russian sharpener? Yeah. If you always placed an Amazon ordered one. Oh, you ordered the Canadian steel knife? Yeah. Let me know when it arrives. Let me know what you think about it, because people either love it or hate it. But I think, man, Paul Bikima. How many of you guys know Paul? He uses one. He cut himself real good on it, and I'm talking about the cold steel one. He uses the cold steel one, same one in the video. And well, my wife is home from work. He uses it for everything. He says it's an excellent food prep knife if you're camping or even around the house. It's good for, like, you know, he cuts rope with it, just everything. And it's funny how we have this idea that you have to spend like $300 on a jacklore. Let's face it, you can't get a jacklore for $300. But you know, you have to get something like that, a jacklore or a Adventure Sworn or whatever. And yet here I am caring for an $18 Mora and talking about an $18 Canadian belt knife by Cold Steel, made in Taiwan, whatever. But people who own one seem to universally like it. That's weird, right? Like, and I'm saying that as someone who likes gear. You know, I love gear. I have expensive taste. You know, I know I have my my short list of bushcraft day bags for when I finally get some, you know, some extra cash hanging around. They're all expensive, you know. But it's funny how, you know, you don't have to be rich to do this stuff. You know, you can have a real down-to-earth bank account and still it's much, much better. The rolled edge is completely fixed. Completely fixed. You know? Right. LT's got the stand on his landscape. Okay. Yeah, I've heard that they make a stand for it. If you know, I'm gonna have to get. This isn't a landscape. This is the Gatco, but they're identical practically. So maybe the landscape stand will work on this. Because I need something. I don't have the wrists I used to. I used to have. You know, my hands get tired and just trying to hold that. Forget about it. Well, it ain't a pretty sharpening job. I mean, can you see that? Like, it's got some, you know, it's scratchy, but do I care? You know? Simon Forget's Grumman number 4 is a beast. Yes, it is. Hold on. Let me. Plain Preacher, yeah, the Canadian belt knife. Simon Forget's using the Lansky right now. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I use it a lot, especially for the kitchen knives. Yeah, Simon. I was telling Plain Preacher that the Canadian belt knife is a very efficient slicer. I think it would also be a really good skinning knife. I'm not sure because let me show you something. If you want to see a really efficient skinning knife, look at that. I've already shown you guys this, but I love this stupid, cheap-ass little knife. I really do. This is, what is it, Jeff White? Is that what it's called? That blade shape is really good. And I find that the Canadian belt knife gets some of that magic in there as well. Hold on. Hold on a second here. LT Survival says he wanted to get a Canadian belt knife off the military, but he couldn't. Do they still issue it? I thought that they didn't issue it anymore. You know what? If I'm stropping. Like, I would have figured that they issue some Gerber, like an LMF2 or something at this point. Or even worse, like a... Worse, come on. LMF2 is pretty good if you want to chop yourself out of that burning helicopter. I wonder what the... You know, it's funny because there's a lot of... There are service members in my family, but I've never even asked what they get issued as a survival knife. There we go. It's funny because, like, the Morris pot was also a Royal Canadian Air Force invention, right? Because the Canadian belt knife was the pilot's knife. The Morris pot was the pilot's survival pot. And it's funny how these things have both enjoyed much more longevity in our kind of context than they did in the military, you know? Number 3 is still issued, Sumo says. But, you know, it's funny, LT, because I've got... Just let me step off camera again. Like, I've got an Allen F2. You know, it's my workshop knife. I don't... There's nothing wrong with it. It's ugly as sin. I mean, I've used mine a fair amount. It's a terrible bushcraft knife. That's the thing. When I first bought this, I didn't know what the hell I wanted. This could really use a sharpening. I didn't know what it was I needed. You know, if I had known, I wouldn't own this. But it does make for a fairly good shop knife. So I'm not irate that I own it. But it's not an adequate knife for what I do on the day-to-day when I'm in the bush. But what I like about it is robust as hell. Even like, I don't know, like I don't tend to trust Gerber's mystery steel, but this is an alright knife in terms of, you know, a crowbar with a razor edge on it. Not a razor edge. Crowbar with a sharp edge on it. It's not that hard to sharpen. The integrated sharpener that comes with the sheath, you know, that's not the kind of thing you want to use on any kind of blade that you really that you want to take care of. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like, see that slot right there? That's one of those things where you just pull it through, you know, with the two little V. It's not the kind of thing you want for swinging the knife around, like, you know. Here's a hack. Don't ever use those little sharpeners. You want something that's got one surface that you skate across, you know. Anthony, this one? Anthony, is this the one that you're talking about? It has to be this one. This is the Morris pot. This is the one that I was saying is was the Royal Canadian Air Force invention. Funny enough, they don't, you know, whoever made it for them doesn't make it anymore. This one was from what's it called? 4 dogs, 3 dog night. What? I don't know. Something about a number of dogs in the States. It's a pretty good pot. There are a couple of issues with it, but nothing too bad. The biggest problem I have with it is I wish it was graduated. I wish it had gradations, like punched into it. They can even be cups. They don't have to be milliliters, right? 1 cup, 2 cups. Something like that would be a massive improvement. But it's a pretty good pot. I like it. And I've gotten some good use out of it. I don't know if it's starting to rust or not. It's aluminium. You know, when it's not bead blasted. It's whatever when they bond like a pigment or coating to the metal, whatever the hell. I don't know what it's called in English or French. Sorry, guys. This? Creative Redundancy is back. The knives. Over the other shoulder. It's gotta be this. Are you talking about my little anodized? Tannenbaum walks in and immediately answers the question. Yeah, anodized. It's anodized aluminium. But if you're talking about this, it's just a like a cast iron cauldron. It's a very, very, very small cauldron that I haven't used in a long time. Yeah, it's just a little cauldron. Yeah. Okay, you know what bugs me about this as a survival knife, guys? Because if you're behind enemy lines, then not having something glossy is probably good. But for a survival knife, if I'm downed, right? If I was in a helicopter or a plane and I'm down, and there's a search plane going over, I want something that I can reflect. You know what's weird? The handle's picked up a little bit of shake. Oh my god. My poor knife. Yeah, no, it's weird. It's like there's a bit of, it's coming loose. That's bizarre. Oh well. Look, I'm not going to be chopping my way out of a burning helicopter anytime soon, so it's not really gonna, it's not gonna keep me up nights. And hey, YouTube's demonetized me, so I don't have to be afraid of showing a knife on my channel. LT says that the serrations can actually be really good for making feather sticks, which I had never thought of. Never ever thought of. Yeah, Winders, I could do that, but that's more work than you know, like it's more of a, wow, it would be nice if, rather than I really need this pot to be marked at the cup, you know. So I'm not too worried about it. No, still gotta go. Now, Simone, if you and LT are going to go at it over this ugly-ass knife, I'm just going to put you each in an opposite corner. Let me see if this is going to work. I hope you guys aren't expecting me to try to cut paper with this. I'm not. That's not the kind of sharpness that I need my shop knife to be at. That's made a difference. I think that's alright. For a shop knife, that'll be fine. Nathan Barrientet. Oh, wow. Barrientes. Hello from Texas. Hey, I haven't spoken to you in a long ass time. How's it going, mister? Yeah, creative. Yeah, I know. You can fluff stuff up. I get it. My problem with serrated edges on knives is that they're always right where I want to be carving. Right? Like, if I'm trying to make feather sticks, I'm using this part of the blade. Right? That's where I want... Right? That's where I'm... Do you know what I'm saying? That's it right there. You know? Oh, I did a really good job on this Mora, guys. You know, that's where I'm not trying to carve up here. Right? And so with knives like that, where the serrations are right, look, it makes perfect sense to put your serrations right there for, you know, cutting through whatever, rope or an aircraft body or something, right? Because that's where you're going to get your strength. But that's exactly the problem for when you're trying to carve feather sticks or something. You know, I get feathering stuff up, but man, fluffing stuff up, but it's just, I would almost prefer the serrations to be on the other side, like on the spine, which then causes a problem for making ferro, for sparking a ferro rod, I guess. I don't know. Is that even a 90 degree spine? Yeah, it's 90 degrees, all right. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? Like, put these up here, or maybe there. No, because you can spark a ferro rod there. So make the serrations there. Give me a fine blade, like a fine edge there, and serrations there, and I'd be happy. Still an ugly knife, but one that works better for my needs, kind of thing, you know? Looks like Simo and LT are gonna go to the mats. One Groman knife against another. Well, no, a Groman against an LMF2. Yeah, Winters, when you're drilling holes for a bale, you gotta get the measurements right. Otherwise, you end up with, you know, something off center or keeps spilling on you or whatever. LT did a video where I used the serration on a downward stroke and I did pretty well nonetheless. Really? Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. I have a huge pile of birch bark here, guys. I'm going to have to clean this up when I'm done. But yeah, you know, that's... I bought the LMF2 and the Bear Grylls Ultimate with the fine blade on the same day by accident, thanks to Amazon's one-click shopping, one-click buy, one-click purchase, one-click. It was when the one-click thing was still fairly new, so I didn't know. The Bear Grylls I actually thought was a pretty good knife, aside from the mystery steel. What made me get rid of that was actually the sheath, and this sheath is not ideal either. Okay, this one comes up too high, but the thing with the Bear Grylls sheath was same as this. When I had it on my belt, it really irritated me right there, and I can't put up with that. Forgot about it, so I moved it on. I gave it away. I did a giveaway on Bushcraft USA back when I was still hanging out there. Oh, I don't want to put these away because I have to rinse them off. Oh, just stepped in my flood. Tabernouche. Oh well. For those of you who don't live here, Tabernouche is a mild Quebecois swear. I said it without thinking, you know. Oh yeah, Windows, okay. Yeah, right. Now that you've drilled holes in the side of your cup, I get it. I hadn't thought of that. So it's a good thing I spoke to you, because I wouldn't have thought of that, and I probably would have drilled the same holes. Put this away. I'm trying to I don't want to lose this. This is precious. Well, we've been at this for almost 2 hours now. So I think I'm going to let you guys go. I still got some stuff to do before bed, so thanks for hanging out. So does scheduling one of these beforehand work better for you guys? If I say like next Tuesday, how many of you guys got my note? Got the notice, by the way? Because I talked about on my the Facebook page for the channel. Because I'm never sure if YouTube is letting anyone know that I've scheduled to live stream. You know? So I don't know. Scheduling it first a good idea? I mean, I certainly have more people watching than I usually do, so I am tempted to think that this was the right way to do it. So what do you guys think? LT didn't get the note, the YouTube notice. Okay, good to know. I don't get it. Okay, Simone did. Maybe, Simone, did you hit the little bell on the subscription button? So some of you guys got it. Maybe it's people who tick the little bell to get the notice. But what I'll do is if I schedule one of these for next Tuesday or something, I'll do the same. I'll Anthony too, eh? I'll announce it on the Facebook page as well. You know. So I guess I'm gonna get out of here. Gonna go do stuff. Gonna go see my wife, who's finally home from work. And I will speak to you guys a little later. Simo hit that little bell. That's why you got the notification. Oh, LT got a new computer. God damn it, I'm about to get off and now he says that? LT, drop me a note. Let me know what you got. See you guys later. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye-bye.